Hi everybody, this is an experimental video. We actually filmed this episode of The Least Haunted of us driving Hicks Road. And I wanted to warn everyone that you can see my face and you can see Cody's face. And not everybody who listens to podcasts wants to see the face of the faceless voice they've been listening to. The faceless voice they've been listening to for so long. So, if you'd like to experience this episode and not see our faces, you can listen to it normally on any podcast app that you choose. So saith Luna. Right, Luna? Right. Turn left at the Y.
Yes.
All right.
Or the fork, or the whatever. It's kind of, I guess it's a T.
I'm just thinking about all the cool ways I can edit it to go left.
All right. And away we go.
Is this Hicks Road?
Hello, dig for bones.
I don't think anyone knows that I'm the one. Cut off your toes and put them in the drawer with the sock.
Hello, and welcome to the Least Haunted Podcast, a place where science, skepticism, humor, and anthropology meet to discuss all things spooky, haunting, supernatural, and sometimes just the plain ridiculous. I'm your host, Cody Franks, and joining me, as almost always, is the doomed driver of dastardly and possibly demonic detours,
Garth! Hi, everybody. So, this is an experimental episode for all of you listening at home. There's a whole other way you can experience this. If you go onto our YouTube channel, this is a video as well.
Yes.
And if you're already on the YouTube channel watching the video, you should know this could also be audio. If you don't want to watch us, go check it out on the podcast app of your choice. So many ways.
Oh, the video.
So many ways you can enjoy The Least Haunted. Anyway, hi everybody. How's it going? How's it going, Cody?
It's all right. I got a fucked up back.
You know what? I think my friend Justin lived up this road. We're on Shannon Road right now. This is like our hometown, of Los Gatos, and so
Yeah.
I haven't been up here in a while. Cody's got a fucked up back, so I'm, hitting all the potholes.
It's a bad road.
It's a bad road.
But we are using this road as a means to get to our main attraction.
The main road.
The main road that we're here to drive. This is an episode whose inception goes 2 years back. Garth and I were going to do this back on March 17th, 2020.
That was such an unremarkable year. Why didn't we do it then?
And such an unremarkable day. Why wouldn't we have done it on that day? Maybe because there was a quarantine issue put in place, or order issued, and we all got stuck at home.
Did we ever tell the story of, we were going to go help that guy move some stuff? Remember this?
Oh, yeah, so...
Should we tell this story? It's a good story.
Oh, man.
We won't use any names, but...
Garth and I, on the day that quarantine started, we had already agreed to help a woman move out of her house, and she lived in this house with a few other people. And
all real nice people.
oh yes, but we showed up that morning, not being aware of the severity of the. Oh, I don't think this is gonna work on that. That video's gone.
No, what are you talking about? This is
Oh, that's gonna make people sick. We should be focusing on driving.
I should be focusing on driving.
This is a dangerous road. Distracted driving. This is a crime.
Don't do this. Well,
This is how we edited.
okay. So anyway, we go up to these people's houses. The quarantine had just hit, but it's this is just up the road from Cody and me. It's
We're in the mountains.
We're in the mountains,
And also, we weren't going to be going in their house. We were cleaning up a yard.
the whole idea of social distancing hadn't even become a thing. That was going to be next week. Anyway.
Yeah, so we were just well, I mean, it shouldn't be an issue. We're just going to be cleaning the yard and doing brushwork outside. But we go up and I just kind of knock on the door to let them know we're there. And this guy comes to the door and he's got a dog barking and he's freaking out and he's yelling at us and telling us he's going to call the cops on us because there's a quarantine and we need to get the fuck away.
Yeah, he said, hit the road!
Yeah, and we're like, all right, dude, okay. We were just here to help, but that's fine.
Cody literally said that. He said, I said hit the road! Several times.
Yeah, as we were already walking away.
Kelly and I still, to this day, she wasn't even there, and I've told the story enough. We were like, all right, let's hit the road.
So, anyway,
that was the story. I don't know.
but what we're doing now
You had to have been there.
is something very much like we probably would have been doing in high school. If we went back 20 years ago.
Yep. I did Hicks Road in high school. I'll bring up my friend Justin, who I brought up before. Friend of the podcast, actually, Justin Duckham. Did Hicks Road several times. I only did it the once, but it was a big thing in high school. It's like, oh, we gotta go drive Hicks Road late at night.
Yeah, what was I gonna say? Oh shit.
Well, so I did it once.
Oh yeah, no, I've done it a few times. I was asked to do it for somebody who lived in another part of the valley, and I had the minivan, so you can load a lot of people into a minivan, and they asked me to drive them up over Hicks Road. But Hicks Road, if most of you are probably unaware, although actually it turns out it is quite famous, is a road in the rural outskirts of San Jose, California, that cuts from one part of Almaden to another part of Almaden, and to do so it goes up and over Mount Umunum, which is the flat top mountain with the old Air Force Base on top of it. So if you live in the Bay Area and you see that flat mountain that has
a
box,
little box on the top. It's not little, but little.
Yeah.
That's Mount Umunum.
That's Mount Umunum. Shout out friend of the show, our legal expert, Travis Alexander, he's a part owner in the Mount Umunum Co-op Brewing Company in San Jose. So shout out to them. But yeah, so Hicks Road, rural, and it has an urban legend about it.
So I always heard there's albinos on Hicks Road, or
And-
ghosts, or lots of stuff.
And to talk about perfect timing,
is this Hicks Road?
This is Hicks Road right here.
Shall I make a left or a right? Probably
Take a
right.
right, yes.
Yeah, that's what I remember. See, I remember this. This was only 18 years ago.
We got somebody coming behind
Speed
us.
limit of 30.
Yeah.
I'll probably pull over. I need to adjust this camera anyway. We are now on Hicks Road, so okay, I see.
Yeah, keep left at this little kind of thing
This
here.
little doodly
Yep.
dude.
Hicks
Twisty
Road.
turny for the next 7 miles.
Yes. So, the story of Hicks Road. This is a disclaimer right here, out of the gate. It's fairly fucking offensive.
The story of Hicks Road?
Well, the urban legend behind Hicks Road is incredibly offensive because, in a nutshell, it is that up this road somewhere there is a colony of satanic, cannibalistic albinos.
How many things can you be?
And,
I guess it's offensive to cannibals.
Well, I would
Sorry, that was.
I'd like to state at this point that if I'm telling the urban legend, I will use its own term of albinos, but the preferred term is people with albinism or albinism.
I didn't know that.
Keep
Okay.
left. Left.
Oh, keep
that's
left.
your right.
Yeah.
Should I be driving?
No, I just don't know the difference between left and right.
So yeah, this whole idea of the evil albino is an incredibly hurtful and offensive and harmful stereotype that gets perpetrated repeatedly in popular culture. Da Vinci Code.
That's funny. That's the first one.
Matrix.
I was about to say the same thing. Yeah.
Going,
Albinos.
all the way back to, for a long time.
Did I tell you I saw an albino redwood tree for the first time the other day? Have you ever seen one of those?
Yes, I know where two of them are. Well, I know where one was, unfortunately. So there's only, I think, documented 17 albino redwoods in California.
I saw one, but I was sworn to secrecy.
The one that I knew was in somebody's yard in a local neighborhood, and
Wow.
when they sold the house, the new homeowner didn't like this thing that was growing out into his driveway, so they cut the they cut off the burl from which it grew, because albino redwoods are parasitic. They need a host plant to live off of because they don't produce chlorophyll for themselves.
Yeah, the other redwoods around will give the tree chlorophyll. It's
Yeah.
an amazing
And-
example of redwoods helping each other.
And possibly, although they seem to be parasitic, they might actually be leaching other harmful substances out of the soil to the benefit of the other host redwoods.
Interesting.
Yeah, but they cut it down and it died.
Ugh.
And so that is one less albino redwood.
That is a heartbreaker. Those are so rare.
Yes.
Anyway, there are also albinos up Hicks Road, potentially. People with albinism.
Yes. Albinism.
Albinism.
And what exactly is albinism? We're going to get into our... So, For everybody listening, I am reading this off a laptop on my lap, going down a 2-lane. Well, you're watching the YouTube video, you know, but for the people who are on the audio, this is a narrow 2-lane, dark, windy road.
Cody, do you get car sick easily?
Only once somebody brings it up, Garth. You ever notice that?
Well, you can't crack a window; it would ruin the audio.
It'll ruin the audio. And I'm also in immense amounts of pain.
It's getting kind of hot in here.
Okay. So,
all right.
Anyway, as I was doing the research into albinism, it turns out that it made a lot of sense to me because it is very similar in certain ways to the functions and how my own disease of cystic fibrosis is passed on.
Oh, interesting.
It's an autosomal recessive. Oh, I have it written down. Oh, I can't look at that.
Don't look at that.
I should not be looking at that.
Don't look at that. Don't do it.
It's a recessive genetic disorder, and there's 7 different types of it, but the one that most people are thinking about, they call type 1, and the actual condition is oculocutaneous albinism. And in the case that most people are thinking about, in the case that applies to the urban myths of Hicks Road, this is a type of, I think the word they used was hypermelanism, but that doesn't make sense because there is no melanin. It is a lack of pigmentation in skin, eyes, and hairs that is caused from a deficiency of the enzyme tyrosinase, and that's pivotal in producing melanin. So you don't have melanin in your skin, you have the lighter pigmentation. This can lead to, in examples of the eye, if you don't have pigmentation in the eye, it can lead to vision problems because you're getting too much light in the eye and it can burn your eyes.
People with albinism often have kind of pink eyes. Am I right about that?
Yeah, but not all do.
Okay, interesting.
And then, the lighter skin color and the nearly platinum white hair. I actually had a friend in elementary school whose sister had type 1 of albinism.
It must have been hard, you can't go out in the sun or anything. I mean...
Yes and no. I mean, there's protections. You got to wear big hats and maybe
sunscreen.
Yeah, but
SPF
limit,
a
but definitely limit.
Yeah.
But the point is that this is just a genetic disorder. These are just people, and there's no, so in parts of Africa, and this was reported on a while ago, and I'm not exactly sure the extent to which this still happens. I didn't really dedicate as much research into this, but in parts of Africa, it's said that people need to hide their children with albinism because, like, a witch doctor will capture them and kill them, and they use their body parts in various practices in traditional medicine for talismans and stuff. So, it's a condition that around the world gets misunderstood and misaligned.
Ooh, look here, people. What's this?
Oh, a reservoir.
Oh.
I think that's a water treatment thing.
Oh.
So, in the myth, though.
Ooh, spook. I wonder who could that be?
So I first heard this story.
Watch, the headlights are gonna come on and shine behind us.
I actually first heard this story from, again, friend of the show, Travis Alexander, by way of him, through my sister, and about the albinos up Hicks Road, as well as other things. There's a lot of stuff. So they can either be people with albinism who happen to be cannibals and satanic. They could just be satanic cannibals. They also could be demons in the road. There could be ghosts. There's also, I think at one point I heard stories about right-wing white supremacist groups up here, akin to the KKK, and gangs, like violent, white supremacist gangs that would kill people that drove over this road. Lots of death and stuff like that.
I've got some stories.
So, I heard it from him, and then I heard it from other people who didn't even know him, and then talking to my own father-in-law. He had the same story, and he was a teenager in the early 1970s. In fact, he has a story about they had a friend who was very pale himself, and so they had him hide in a tree, and they drove up with some girls in the car and parked him in the tree, and then he dropped out right down onto the hood of the car and looked into the windshield. Screams were had,
Very
good times were
good,
had.
very good.
Yes. But that might have also contributed to the myth, because there might just be people out here who are fucking around.
Oh, naturally. Well, this is one of those things where once it's established, you're going to get people who want to play with it, and then it continues, right?
Yeah. But here's where it gets a little more interesting. while doing research today in this, you will find that there are a lot of websites and lists that will talk about Hicks Road, YouTube videos. There was even a horror film made, I think, in 2019.
Wow.
But what I found out was it's not really just Hicks Road. Depending on which part of the Bay Area you are from, it's the exact same story of cannibalistic, satanic albinos, but it's a different road that's mentioned each time. So some people say, actually, it's up off of Highway 9 by Sanborn Park in Saratoga. And others say, oh no, it's actually Alum Rock up in East San Jose.
It's kind of like there's Bigfoot in every
Yes.
every town in
But
the
it goes,
Pacific
as
Northwest.
near as I can tell, it goes back specifically to the 1970s. So that's where we're going to start our exploration of what the hell is really going on here and why.
Now, are we getting into the let's actually learn about the reality? Are we done with the stories? Because I have stories.
I think the second half is gonna be, well, we can get into those stories. We also have listeners submitted or Twitter stories of things, not of this road, but other haunted things.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, we can get into some stories about it, and then we'll get into why. Sure.
I'll do a Garth. This will be Garth's corner.
Garth's detour.
Garth's. I heard it from a friend who heard it from a friend. That these are some stories about Hicks Road corner.
Okay.
So, I was talking to Justin today, and I was like, oh yeah, we're doing Hicks Road, do you have any stories? And he was like, oh my god, let me tell you, he couldn't even text it, we just talked on the phone.
Whoa, what the hell do we got here?
I think we've got
Fireworks.
Kids running around. The question is, should we keep going?
I don't stop for shit, dude.
Alright, well, let's just keep going.
But I do think we need to call the cops because of fire danger.
Perhaps we do.
I think we're doing that right now.
Alright, so we're being good citizens and being like, yeah, normally I'd be totally cool with kids being kids, but it's mid-July here, and we're all waiting for the big fire, and usually it's pretty much what we just saw, so. Do you have any service yet?
Yes. Okay.
Excellent. Go ahead and call the cops. Let's take a least haunted break. Oh wait, we call those digging for bones. Well done, citizen.
Yeah, I got a little flustered by a racial question.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
But I didn't tell them we had it on film.
We might, but it's too late.
Yeah.
I mean, once
Okay.
we go over it, that
Yeah.
could be useful, but it's fine.
But now there's gonna be deputies on the road, so maybe we don't want our light on. They'll see us and like, what are you guys doing?
That's an interesting point. Let's see how it looks if we don't have lights on. Ooh, spooky.
Okay.
All right, I think we're gonna just stick with the dash cam.
I think we're just gonna edit most of that out. It'll
yeah.
just-
We don't need that. That was not great pod.
No.
We'll cut it in. All right. Anyway, so here's what Justin had to say. It was a whole bunch of different things, very short, and there was one story about a guy jumping out in front of a car, completely naked, wearing a gas mask, holding a knife. Oh, this is more Hicks.
It's Mount Aluminum.
Is that the end of Hicks Road?
No, we go left.
Oh, excellent.
Oh, not
Okay.
left, but like straight.
Straight.
through.
I
Yeah.
see. Okay, cool. So, so there was another time where they pulled up in a trailer park, and they were turning around, and a bunch of trucks pulled up and flooded their lights and pretty much surrounded the car for about 5 minutes while they waited. Nobody got out of the car, obviously, and then they turned their lights off and kind of backed off, but it was an intimidation tactic of some kind. There were other stories about people finding dolls that had been, all the body parts had been pulled apart and were hanging from the bridge. There's a rock that is labeled as a door to hell that apparently somebody was guarding.
Nice.
Let's see what else. Justin told me a bunch, and I did my best to try to remember, but I didn't actually take notes. I'm sure I'm forgetting some. What else? So I went down Hicks Road once. Didn't see any creepy anythings, except for I do remember going to an old graveyard. I guess there's an Almaden graveyard.
Oh yeah.
And I'll never forget. There's a little gravestone for a dude's leg, and I just thought that was so great.
Wow.
Yeah, so I don't know if are we gonna be passing. We'll probably be passing that
The
graveyard.
Rodents in New Almaden.
Great. Okay, so maybe we'll end with the graveyard if we can go there. I don't know if we'll really feel like doing that, but we might.
So yeah, we Garth mentioned New Almaden, so New Almaden is named New Almaden because it's named after, guess what? Old Almaden, which is in Spain, and Old Almaden is famous for having mercury mines, and so New Almaden, guess what it has?
Mercury mines.
Mercury mines. Exactly. There's still Almaden is still a town or a city, but the actual old town of New Almaden, which is now Old New Almaden, is it's mostly depopulated. It's got some old structures. In the 50s, my grandfather was in the forestry and in the fire department in New Almaden, and he had some stories about his somebody had a tractor and they were digging into one of the old mines with a tractor, right? And they got this like tractor parked in the mine, and they get off the tractor and they go behind it or something to hook up a chain, and the tractor rolls back and crushes the person against the wall of the cave and kills them. My grandpa was the one that had to climb in there and start up the little tractor dozer and drive it out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yikes.
I have some stories about Hicks Road too. Well, one is what I heard from my sister, and I asked Travis because it involves him, and he did not remember this, but he said it sounded about right. And it was that they were driving up and over Hicks, as you do, to get scared, and one of the people in the car was convinced that they saw a disembodied human head lying on the side of the road.
I feel like I've heard that story myself.
And
that sounds really familiar.
They wanted to stop and investigate, and Travis was driving, and I think the way I remember hearing it from my sister was he said, quote, "Fuck that shit," and then stepped on the accelerator and hauled ass down the road. And when I asked him about it, he said he doesn't remember that specific thing, but he says, yeah, it sounds about right because you don't stop for that kind of shit.
Probably good advice for anybody driving this late at night.
Here's and now I think we turn left onto Alamado.
So that was Hicks Road.
Yes.
All right.
Now we're in Alamitos, which will take
You
us.
you don't want to head back and see what happened to the fireworks kids?
Probably not, because we'll run into cops coming the other way.
Oh yeah, we don't want to be doing that.
And I would rather be on my move. So why is that the end of the spooky stories?
Oh yeah, that was the end. This has been Garth's heard it from a friend who heard it from a friend corner.
Okay. So I raised the idea of why everybody in this area, in the Bay Area, had their own version of this satanic, cannibalistic, albino story, whatever their local, canyon road was in their part of the area. They have this like similar story, and as near as I can tell, most of them start in the 1970s, or at least that's as far back as I can get people I've heard from who have this story. I thought, why albinism in particular at this time? Well, as it turns out, there is a movie that came out in the year 1971 in which the main antagonist is a group of cannibalistic albino mutants.
The Hills Have Eyes?
No.
Okay, I don't know.
I'm talking about the motherfucking Omega Man.
Oh!
Charlton Heston. Which in itself is an adaptation or a remake of the movie Last Man on Earth, starring Vincent Price, which in itself is based off of the novel called I Am Legend.
Oh, really? The one
Yes,
that
all
was
the same thing.
That
All
was
the same
then
Will Smith. All the same thing. But I think it's
Have
only...
you ever heard my Charlton Heston impression?
No, go for it.
This is... Yeah, that's... I can just
What
go...
the hell is
He said that a lot. He did that a lot. Yeah, no, but... cut all that. That's not a very good impression.
Not let my people go.
Let my people go.
From my cold, dead hands.
Get your damn paws off me! Okay, so anyway,
Whoa, a stop sign. Like,
What?
or the gate to hell.
Oh!
Well, we'll be waiting here for about a 3-minute cycle, it tells me.
Ah,
Maybe this is a time for us to real quickly dig for bones. before-
taking my orders from robots.
We're gonna dig for bones.
Digging for
Oh,
bones.
waiting for the light.
Um,
Oh, what's this thing? Hey, it's a fox.
it's a fox.
It's a gray fox. I think. Yeah,
I think so.
he's a weird little foxman.
Foxman.
Oh, I should have shined it with my fucking. Oh, dude, hey. There's still a stoplight here.
No, I'm not gonna
I
go
need to
further.
get my super bright fucking flashlight.
I
out.
don't think he's coming back.
Oh no, he's not. But I should have blinded those fucking kids. Taught them a goddamn lesson.
Yeah, maybe they would have fallen over in front of my car.
Well, they were like trying to like. It looks like whatever they set off, they didn't count on it. Fucking.
Yeah, they were
spinning
like
around there,
kind
running.
of kicking it weirdly.
Well, that guy like dove at it.
They were being so.
fucking idiots.
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Set the goddamn. Do you hear that London's on fire? The whole city of fucking London's on fire right now.
Was it a cow? Like Chicago? Oh, here we
No.
go. We're back
Hey.
for the bones. From the bones. We're back
Okay.
from the bones.
So anyway,
All right, so there was a fox right here.
there was, but I think he's gone
He's
now.
probably gone.
We saw the cutest little fox.
That was pretty cute.
So yeah, Charlton Heston's movie Omega Man, in which there is some kind of plague that mutates everybody into cannibalistic albino mutants. And where does the Satanism the Satanism come in? Or satanic?
Satanism?
The Satanism. There it is. Satanism, not Satanism. Satanism comes in is that they like tie him to a cross and try to set him on fire, and they're all wearing black robes. So, that's a stretch, but whatever.
Meh.
So, but that movie came out, and so I think that a lot of people were like, "Oh yeah, let's put that in our stories," from that movie.
Right? It became part of the national consciousness when they thought about things like that.
Also, as we get in closer to New Almaden, when they were mining, there was a group, or some might say a colony, of, I think they were Austrian, either Austrian or like Swedish. I know that's vastly different things, but
White. Very white.
very white, very pale, fair-haired people. Now, also by saying it's a colony, that implies some insular nature. So that might be some, they're not outbreeding. So if there's a recessive genetic disorder, like albinism.
Mm-hmm.
Here we are driving down Main Street, New Almaden.
Charmingburg.
At Charmingburg. So, it could be that, I think there might be a kernel of truth somewhere, that at some point, maybe, there was a family that had a child or two with albinism, and that's not unlikely because my own case of cystic fibrosis, if you are a carrier of the gene, and both parents are carriers, it's a 1 in 4 chance that one of your children will have it.
Mm-hmm.
And albinism works on much the same, it's the same odds. It's a similar genetic disorder in that regard. So, draw your little, your Punnett square, your little Gregor Mendel's peas square, and map it out, and you'll see those are the odds. So it might have been that, maybe in one of these locations, there might have been a family, and, people are cruel, and that's teenagers especially, so it can become fodder for this urban myth.
Well, those were the teenagers of yesteryear. We all know that teenagers today are far more respectful and responsible with fireworks.
With fireworks, as we just fucking saw.
Uh-huh.
So,
Yeah.
I thought it was a down power line sparks, and that's why the guy was jumping around. I was
Yeah,
like,
that's what I thought. Okay, so anyway, so that's actually a very good theory. I like that. Yeah.
As for, them being territorial, it's like, yeah, it's a rural area, man. People don't like you coming onto private property looking for urban legends.
Yeah, and it's going to feed in on itself. If people are looking more, then they're obviously going to want to protect, looky-loos and outsiders from fucking around. So
Yeah.
you're naturally going to get people being more hostile, and so it just perpetuates that, the people up there, they're really defensive of their space because we're always trying to get in there.
Yeah, and another thing that might have contributed to some of the Satanism idea is that, I'm not going to name drop it, but because it will blow up our location maybe, but there was at one time, very close to where Garth and I lived, a whole town that was a religious cult.
Yep.
And it was pretty crazy. And so maybe somebody says, oh, there's in the Santa Cruz Mountains, there's this cult up there.
There's a lot of weirdos.
And remember, these stories are starting, back in the 70s when there is no internet to share these things. So this is old school, like literal telephone game
Yeah.
of people telling each other these stories. And maybe it's like, you know, you have friends, like, you don't live in this area, but you have friends who do. And so they tell you the story. And then you go back to your part of the bay, like maybe you're visiting a cousin or something. And you go back to your part of the bay, and you're telling your friends about this story. And then it's very easy to then just transpose the myth to your location. Because we're not going to drive all the way down to the South Bay to go over Hicks Road. But, you know, what's right near us is the Niles Canyon Road. And so
This is our Hicks Road.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense to me. Yeah.
And with that in mind, I asked our friends on Twitter if they could tell us if they had any spooky stories that happened to them while they were driving late at night, and if what their local haunted road story is. So,
Before we jump to that next segment, just to wrap up Justin's explanation for this, he said he only came up with this like 5 years ago. He's like, you know, looking back on it, it's possible a lot of this is switched to the people with albinism, but the guy with the gas mask who was completely naked with the knife, there were, and then like weird art. It's probably meth heads.
oh yeah,
There's a good chance. And it's like, oh, that would make sense, because if you've ever seen Breaking Bad, guy has a gas mask, people don't wear clothes, you're not allowed to wear clothes so you don't sneak any meth out. So that adds up real quick. And then like weird dolls hanging strange.
You know what?
Meth heads come up with a lot of interesting art.
And well, it's also
a lot of weird, obsessive, freaky stuff. So that's a potential too. And Justin like basically gave me the rundown of like how all of this adds up. It's like, you know, that pretty much explains everything.
Yeah, we've never brought this up or had really an opportunity to bring this up on Least Haunted yet, but it will come up again, I can assure you, that methamphetamines can explain a lot of spooky shit that people encounter. You know, urban exploring and looking at these abandoned haunted places. Here's a tip. They're not abandoned. There are lots of people who are looking for conveniently vacant places in which to do their drugs. And meth, in particular, if there's anything that, you know, next, with the exception of crocodile, that synthetic drug from Russia.
Crocodile?
Oh, do yourself a favor and do not Google that shit.
I won't.
Yeah. It's like super meth that makes your flesh rot off your bones while you're still alive.
You shouldn't do that, Cody. Don't do that.
So with the exception of that, methamphetamine is the other drug that can create, you know, literal zombies. And here we are at, we're going to take a left on Almaden. And we're going to take this over to Camden. And then we're going to cut back to Shannon Road and take Shannon back into Los Gatos.
Sounds good.
Big circle. Where was I going with that? Meth heads? Yes. meth.
Well, I just brought up that that's a potential explanation, and then you were going to start telling stories from Twitter.
Okay, so from Twitter. This is from Christopher Bly, who is at Fox Wasp Games on Twitter, and they said, "My city has a local haunted road that's always been funny to me because the scary thing that supposedly happens when you drive it at night is just that sometimes there's more or fewer bridges than there should be." That's it. Spooky.
That's really good. I like that. That's a harmless, it's like unplottable on a map. Like,
Yeah,
I like that a lot.
let's see. Yeah, keep going straight.
Okay.
I'm also playing Navigator, ladies and gentlemen. Like,
Cody is a man of many, many talents, everybody.
this one was from... Oh, this is from our new patron, our new Monster Squad member.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, this is Haunted Banshee the Barbarian, at By Barbarian on Twitter.
I'll do a proper Gart's Corner theme for you. I didn't really have a chance to do a real song, so yeah, it's coming.
Yeah. They say, "My friends and I, about 8 of us, were once driving on a desolate dirt road listening to Godspeed, You Black Emperor, and we stopped and then somehow convinced ourselves we were actually dead and just repeating our final moments over and over again. We were all stone cold sober."
Wow.
You know,
I miss that kind of thing. Makes me miss being a teenager sometimes. Like, do you remember just like getting caught up in weird things with your friends?
oh yeah,
Like,
definitely.
I don't do that as much with my friends. I do with you sometimes. That's why we're good friends.
I think we
But, like-
regularly get caught up in weird shit, and we record that and distribute it to people.
Well, we were doing it already, and we're like, you know, we could be recording this.
Yeah.
But yeah, that just gives me flashbacks to like getting just the fever dream of being an excitable child. Anyway, good
Yeah.
one. I like that one a lot.
This one comes from friends of the show, Hacked History Podcast.
Hey, Hacked History. Hi, guys.
We're going to be doing something with them real soon.
Cool.
Here. Yeah.
They were our first collaborative back in the day.
We collaborated with them 2 years ago in August, and it looks like we're going to collaborate with them again in August.
Nice.
So, hey, let's try not to make it a 2-year thing. We should do it more frequently.
Probably.
Anyway, they said, a couple of years back, I was staying in the Twin Cities in Minnesota on a trip.
Mhm.
Unbeknownst to us, when we booked the trip that weekend, would also be Yule weekend. I think it says Yule weekend, but I think it's supposed to be Yule weekend. Oh, no, you know what this is?
Is it a Minnesota thing?
No,
Your
it's just a
weekend?
typo. I think it's supposed to be the. Oh, what street is this?
This is Camden.
Turn left.
Boop. No one saw me cross that solid white line, did they?
White lines. Okay, so I think it's a typo. It's supposed to be the. So let me start
Okay.
again.
All right.
A couple of years back, I was staying in the Twin Cities in Minnesota on a trip. Unbeknownst to us, when we booked the trip that weekend, would also be the weekend of a historic early May blizzard. Through the blizzard from the 13th floor hotel room, we saw a sort of flickering light that looked like a fire. Some swore it was just a light on the top of a building. Others swore it was a mystic flame. Either way, it was way brighter and more fire-like than any other light I've ever seen. Call back to like the Brown Mountain Lights.
Yeah. I wonder if they saw ball lightning or something.
And then we've got the Doom Generation podcast.
Oh,
Tessa
yeah.
and Nicole and
Yes.
Doom Gen.
Hi, Tessa and Nicole.
Said, have you ever seen Odd Thomas? No, I haven't actually. So I'm sorry. But we drove through something that looked like those things on the freeway at night. We went silent for a while and then both said, so was that a fucking demon or what?
I can very much picture that entire scenario.
I have driven through some weird shit. I'm trying to think of things that I've seen while driving. Oh, I got one. Here's an interesting one. And people are going to hear this and like, dude, and you still don't fucking believe in ghosts? What the hell is wrong with you? So, this is, holy shit, 23 years ago. Ooh, that's the scary
Wow,
part. That's the scary part.
you mean the last millennium?
No, sorry, 22 years ago.
Oh, okay. The turn of the century?
The turn of the century. So, I was, oh look, that's a helicopter. I bet they sent out a helicopter to look for sparks.
Ooh, get those kids.
Get them.
Get them.
So,
Sick them.
on a road trip with my mom and my younger brother. I think this is the same trip in which we went and looked for Bigfoot for a week.
Oh, yeah.
And looked for Bigfoot. Last leg of the journey, we're swinging by my grandparents' house in Clear Lake, and as we're rolling down the road, it like starts to rain, and we're going by what at the time was a big walnut orchard. It's since been torn out and been made into a vineyard. But we're going down this stretch, and it's pouring rain, mind you. And in our headlights, there is a man walking down the side of the road opposite of us, and he is wearing clothing from like the 1920s.
Whoa.
Like this guy, he might have just been an early hipster, but this seems a little early for that. But yeah, he was totally, and he had like a little scala cap, and yeah, he was just, and then the thing that was like, what was weird was, he also didn't appear to be wet, but it was soaking rain, and
Oh, that is really weird.
you know, maybe he was glowing, or maybe the headlights were just bouncing off the water and making him look kind of glowy. And he had a weird kind of gait to his walk where he kind of bounced and almost floated along.
Wow.
So we go by, and we're both just like, did we just fucking see that? Like, did that just really happen? And mind you, I'm like, let's see, I was 15 at the time, and yes, I did say to my mom, did we just really fucking see that? And so we turn around and drive by him, not once, but that means we had to drive by him going the other way, and then turn around and drive by him again. And he kept looking out into this, like, he looked like he was searching for something. He's looking out
He's
into
probably
this,
looking for a ride.
No, I mean, he's looking into this orchard, this
Oh, okay.
walnut orchard.
Uh-huh.
And so, you know, that was weird.
Yeah,
Was it a
wow.
ghost? No. It probably was just some dude who's like, I'm looking away from the road because you have your high beams on and you're fucking blinding me, one. And two, why are you repeatedly driving past me? We were the, you know, if anyone...
You were the spooky ones in that
we were
scenario.
The only one who's haunted is you.
Yeah.
At this light, we're going to take a left.
Okay.
Let's let's see. Oh, I should actually... Wait. No, not this light.
Okay.
Scratch that. The next one.
Very well. Hicks Road. Do you want to go back up Hicks Road again?
We're going up Hicks, back up the other part of Hicks till we hit Shannon.
Oh, okay.
What did I do with my phone?
Do you want to use my phone to call your phone?
Oh, I found my phone. It's found.
Sweet.
Oh, light's green.
Red light! Green light! Ba-ba!
We're checking Twitter right now in real time.
Check the tweets. Check the
See if we
tweets,
got
Cody.
anything. And if there isn't, we'll just edit it out. What do
We
got?
can't edit it out. We're back on Hicks Road.
All
right.
Oh, no, it just appears to be somebody liking our comment that it was their last chance to share stories with us, but no one shared stories.
Let's tell a story about the person who liked but didn't actually share a story. This person just wanted to be part of it. Thank you, person who liked it.
Yes. We're still recording. We are still recording.
Excellent.
So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna turn and loop back up.
So we're gonna go in the way we came in the middle of Hicks Road, and we're gonna pop back out where we started
Yes.
from. So we'll have done the whole of Hicks Road.
Yes, one big circle.
Got it. Cool. Well, that's about all I've got as far as Hicks Road stuff. I want to finish the podcast once we get off of Hicks Road here. How far do you estimate we have to?
Till the thing.
Yeah.
Probably a few more turns.
Oh, okay. So, I got a
do
new
the list. Patrons.
patron
Monster
list.
Squadron Patrons.
Monster Squadron patrons, quick!
Oh fuck God, no.
So finally, I do have a list, but I'm driving, so I can't check you.
Okay, here we go.
All right.
Travis Alexander,
Ding.
the Bi Barbarian, who's new.
Ah.
Rachel Krieger,
Mm-hmm.
Justin Duckham,
Mm-hmm.
Kelly Flynn,
Mm-hmm.
Gunnar Franks, Carla Harrington.
Ah, here's some cops.
Oh, they got him.
No. Oh.
No.
No, different. No, that was just some drunk kid.
Okay.
Damn it! You're looking at the wrong place.
Yeah.
All right.
Where was I? Oh, Carla Harrington, new Jared, Brian Lamb. I think this is Return Right.
Mm-hmm.
Alicia Overton, Jordan Ramey, and Blue Roan.
All right. Well, that was Hicks Road, and those were our Monster Squad patrons. Thanks, all you Monster Squad patrons.
You can support us on patreon.com/leasthaunted. We have a whole bunch of bonus content, special gifts, and swag for patrons.
Mm-hmm.
There's some that are going. I guess we should say.
We just printed up a shirt, actually.
We
In
should-
fact, let me pull over, and I will show you guys the shirt. I'll have to stand in my own headlights, but let me just find a place that nobody will freak out. Yeah, it's
we
fine.
can just
It's
keep
fine.
moving.
No. It's a shirt. It's a shirt.
Look, I drive roads like a shark. Gotta
Like
keep
a
moving
shark?
or you die. You
Is
stop
that
moving.
how it works?
A large sharks, yeah, they stop moving. They have to.
No,
force
I
them
know
off.
that's how sharks work, but that's how this road works.
I think hobbits. Man.
Anyway, so we just printed up our very first shirts this morning. In fact, this is the very first shirt. Oh, that's somebody's house.
Yeah, everything you're gonna pull into is gonna be a driveway.
Ah, okay.
That's why I'm like, yeah, you should probably just, yeah.
Okay, anyway, it looks quite good, and we're going to be printing up more, and we'll have those available on our website pretty soon, hopefully.
I was just gonna let everybody know that it's too late for you now, but the people who just got read on that Monster Squadron list, all the people whose names were read are getting a free shirt.
That's right.
I mean, not free, I mean, they've been paying patronage, but they all get one. But going forward, all of you future patrons, patronage will get you discounts. But yeah, these are the early adopters.
I think we called them the least Honda disciples because there were 12 of them.
Oh, yes, that works.
Yeah.
But yeah, we made shirts, guys, and we're also really excited to canonically named the ghosts in our logo.
Oh, this is a perfect
This is a
shot.
Deep pit of gravel. You're probably gonna stop.
Not a good spot.
No.
Well,
Yeah.
all right. Hold on. It was a good idea. All right, so maybe I won't pull over there, but I'll find somewhere else. So what were you saying, Cody?
There are sheriffs about, man.
Yeah, they would have helped us. So you were in the middle of a sentence when I almost got us stuck in gravel. What was that?
It's just like being in fucking high school again. God damn it, man. I was always the one in the cars where driving like, hey guys, let's not do that. Hey, let's not be the two guys setting off fireworks in the middle of the road.
I was not that person.
I was gonna say, we canonically named our ghosts on our logo.
Oh yeah, the logo.
They
Ghosts?
are collectively the Logos.
The Logos. That was it. The Logos.
And they are individually L and H, for one is least and one is haunted. And if you look at the Logos, you'll figure out which they are. That's a weird sign.
That was weird.
Yeah, like I said, everything you're gonna pull into is probably gonna be somebody's property.
Oh, but not here.
Is that deep gravel?
It's shallow gravel. Shallow gravel, everybody. All right, so Cody's are gonna keep talking about whatever, and you guys are
gonna
gonna
turn
get
your
to
brights on, or I can blind
yeah.
you with the fucking super light.
Yeah, get the light. Get your flashlight.
Okay, everybody, bear with us. I am. Oh, how did I rolling down the window? I'm about to blind Garth really bad.
Check out the shirts.
We'll also post a picture on our website. We say that every time. But hey, we're also back now on Twitter, so you can look on Twitter. We'll show you pictures of the shirts on Twitter too.
Hell yeah! And one more thing I'd like to say before we sign off. And that is, if you are a fan of the podcast, please rate and review. We've had almost no one do that, and we have a lot of listeners, and
we just crossed over 10,000 downloads, but we only have like 14 reviews.
So just a few more, would really help with the algorithm. So if you can, take the time to do it right now. We very, very much appreciate it.
And if you like what you're hearing, tell your friends, tell some people. We also have the Least Haunted Campfire Club is still going at this point, I think, when this releases in the future.
Yeah, it'll be winding down, but we'll still have one or two to go, I think.
So, not this release Friday, but like the opposite Friday of the day that this episode comes out.
A week from today.
If you're listening to it on release day, go to our Least Haunted YouTube channel and watch the latest Least Haunted Campfire Club, where we have listeners submitted stories of personal hauntings and accounts, as well as original fiction and classic fiction. And if you want to send us in your story, you can send it to leasthauntedpodcast@gmail.com. And send us your fire footage as well, because as we have already discussed tonight in this episode, we cannot have fires around here. It's fucking not safe.
I think we should loop those kids with the fucking sparkler. I'm kidding, but that's a bad idea. Just have those looped over and over as the fire for the fire club.
Yeah, oh no, that's getting all edited. I feel like I should have done more to.
No, you're fine. You called the cops. Look, if we had pulled over and been like, "Hey, you kids,"
I guarantee you that us driving by freaked them out that they stopped and they left.
I'm pretty sure that's what was going on.
And so telling the cops, they were already out of the area. But supposing they weren't and they were being stupid, then they deserved to get attacked by the sharks.
Yes.
See, I know my shark metaphors.
I'm following your metaphor.
No, I just switched it all up because before I said I was like a shark, that I needed to keep moving so I don't die.
You're not mixing your metaphor. You're just spreading it out.
Coyote across the road, and
Coyote.
he's gone. Oh, you can't get him. He's already gone. He's up.
Yeah.
What was I saying? Oh, but yeah, no, I've always viewed cops as land sharks. When I go on long drives.
Are we still doing the podcast? All right.
We're almost to the end.
Okay,
We're almost to the end.
Okay.
Take a left.
Okay.
When we get to the end of this,
Shannon, that's the
when this
end.
is Las
Okay.
Vegas Boulevard, it's
Okay.
the end. So, when I go on long drives, this is kind of fucked up. This is me at my most vindictive. Is that if somebody's just being a dick and like really tailgating me? I mean, first of all, I don't consider it a fast lane. It's a passing lane. People, you should only be passing in that lane. But if somebody comes up behind me and they're just being a real dick and they're on my ass, yeah, I will slow down a little bit to anger them. And then I finally like move up and pull over so they can pass me. And then they fucking, for some reason, their rage transforms into weight on their gas pedal and their accelerator. And they just take off. And usually, right away, they get fucking hit by a cop who is hiding in a speed trap.
And when you say hit by a cop,
I mean snagged up. This is me road fishing. I bait and
shove
the
I
waters.
see. So you pull over right before the speed trap you know is there.
Yes, because if you're driving on, for example, let's say you're in California and you were driving I-5 heading south to LA or north, you might notice that that's a really long straight featureless fucking road. And there's only so many places that highway patrol can be hiding. And that is, at any overpass you see in the near distance, chances are, just assume there's a fucking cop behind it. That also helps you not get a ticket yourself.
So you slow down the tailgater, then pull over right before the overpass.
Yes, and they fucking speed, and it is like, fish on. It is me fishing, and I call them land sharks. So I chum the water and let the sharks get them.
That's a pretty good one. I like that.
And now we're coming up to the end of the road. So, until next time, the only thing that's haunted
is you.
Oh, I should have timed that better so it was right
Actually,
at the red light.
is this it?
Yeah, this is Las Vegas Boulevard.
Here, we're gonna do it this way. All right. Okay. So until next time. Whoops.
No, I say it.
Flip that over. Damn it. There we go.
We're gonna miss the light. So until next time,
The only
thing that's haunted
is you,
and not Hicks Road.
and not Hicks Road.
Say goodbye.
The Least Haunted podcast is recorded before a dead studio audience and is a presentation of Sequoia Productions, LLC.